Nowadays in Malaysia, you have to be very careful because if not, one day you could wake up and you're a Muslim.
Not that there's anything wrong normally, but not like this, please.
That's exactly what happened to this woman in Sabah just the other day. She went over to the registration department and she realized, oops, sorry, I'm suddenly Muslim.
And it's crazy because there's actually like a conversion syndicate that's under suspicion, and yeah, she's actually Christian. It's wild.
Now the case is still under investigation, but
really, why are people getting converted without their consent?
Something like this administrative mistake were to happen out there, oh no, like your life is going to be completely different, it's going to be changed.
And in ways that are permanent and practical, and probably bad if you don't actually believe in what you have just been converted to.
Make sure to check your documents to make sure that nobody out there has gone out and tried to violate your own right.
Yet, even though it's so serious and the consequences so life-changing,
I find that there is this sort of pattern that's going on that we see in Malaysian society where somehow or another, these authorities out there just want to make sure that people end up following their religion.
and they don't care whether you've thought about it or not, or anything else, they just want you in.
They want to go out there and then they push people in through cara halus by doing registration, so-called mass conversions, offering zakat asnaf and every sort of inducement out there for people to actually end up joining them while saying that actually it is for the greater good. You probably remember the case of Lost Yu Hong right now, that's right, the one with the mother, and the kids forcibly and unilaterally converted by the Perlis state government that up until now continues to insist that, oh no, it was just following the law, that's why we ended up stalking you, Miss Low, for all this while. And a lot of times when this story is actually told, you know, they tell this story about how we want to make sure that they can stay that way, but they end up forgetting that they actually changed the law from what it was before, where you actually required 2 parents to convert, over to a situation where you only need 1 parent to consent, and then boom, like you can go ahead and convert your children. Ignoring all the human rights organizations and everything else that basically say that, look, like this is a legit human rights violation, but still somehow or another, like these people, they think that it is desirable to go ahead and make it happen, facilitate it, and they have the audacity to go out there and then moralize about anything when they realize that things don't go their way. You know, it's very interesting because the way that they go out there and then talk about how there is no compulsion in religion, it will make you think that basically they are just super hyper tolerant and everything else out there. But then in reality, like the most important phrase for you to use is really like lakum dinukum waliyadin, which means basically you go your way, I go my way, we're done, out. If ever you actually get into the religion somehow or another, then in this country of Malaysia, it is incredibly difficult for you to actually go out. Like, I don't want to discriminate against religion, but the very fact, right, is that if you actually end up being registered as a Muslim in your IC, whether it's your fault or it's not your fault, like, you actually have to go out there and apply to the Sharia Courts in order to actually leave the religion, which 99 times out of 100 will not actually be permitted to you. Instead, you'll just be languishing year after year trying to make it happen out there, maybe while facing a whole bunch of different types of enforcement actions to counsel you to make sure that you can stay in the faith and beriman out there, because somehow or another, these people, they feel that it is necessary, important, and valuable that you end up staying in the faith. I mean, like, there is this idea, of course, of freedom of religion. Seriously, like, it's told to you in the constitution that yes, like, you should be able to believe in what it is that you believe, but a sheer number of holes for you to be able to jump through in order to actually change your religion, if you actually were to change into Islam, whether by accident or intentionally, is crazy. These people, they just seem to have this fear somehow that people will end up falling off the road. They will have their akidah destroyed. It is so sad. We need to amar ma'ruf nahi munkar, protect our fellow brothers and sisters, because the brotherhood between us is so strong, it extends across the generations. But actually,
like literally 99.9% of the time,
it's just social control. It is moral policing. It is going out there and feeling somehow that you have the entitlement and the right to go out there and manage people's lives because somehow or another you are unhappy with yours and you find meaning in being a hero to other people when nobody requested you to be there in the first place. But I guess in some way I do understand because like a lot of these people, they don't really have anything else to look for. They are struggling, they are desperate in their own lives to the point that there's no part of their actual existence which is happy.
Kind of ironic that they want to be protectors, but okay.
And so they feel that there is a void inside them and they need to be needed. Because they need to be needed, they go out there and then they look for random people on the internet to protest, to make signboards, to live out their faith when nobody actually wanted them to. I don't know if a lot of these people actually understand love or they have actually experienced it in their own lives out there, but you would think to yourselves that somehow or another, if what they believe is supposed to make them so happy, immaculate, and precious along the way, then why is it that these people are going out there and then trying to force that so-called love upon other people? I think that in most cases, we realize, if we are lucky, that love is something that has to come from within. I need to actually think about what I'm looking at. I need to actually have the pattern in my head to really be able to accept memeluk, the thing that I'm supposed or that you want me to love. I find it a shame that we have all of these different policing systems out there to end up protecting so-called people from going away from their faith, but at the same time, you don't have this mechanism in place with anywhere close to the same level of detail to make sure that people are protected from deceptive conversion strategies that end up targeting, preying upon them, pretending to offer them safety, but in reality just casually shipping them off into a world where their lives will be changed and they can join the horde of quantity but no actual quality, where nobody actually knows about what they believe in.
Not everyone, of course. I'm sure that there are some who do.
The blind leading the blind, generation after generation. Alright, that's all to say about that, and bye.